Harold is 73 years old and proud of it. Every morning at 7 a.m. sharp, he's out walking in the park with his scruffy little mutt, Bingo. He stretches, greets the same retired Navy buddy by the fountain, and ends his routine with a coffee and 2 plain donuts at Donnie's Diner. He says he hasn't missed a day in 5 years, not even during last winter's ice-pocalypse, when his front porch turned into a skating rink. Harold is tough, but last November, something got to him. It wasn't the cold or the donuts, he swears by them. It was the flu. Yep, the old-fashioned influenza, back like a rerun nobody asked for, and hitting seniors harder than ever. Harold thought he just had a little something. A sniffle here, a cough there. But by the 3rd day, he was too weak to walk Bingo. Too tired to eat donuts. Now that's serious. And he ended up in the ER with a fever over 102. Thankfully, Harold recovered. But he admitted later, "I thought the flu was for kids and folks who don't wash their hands. I didn't know it could hit us this hard, and that's exactly why we need to talk about it." Every year, influenza season sweeps through like a surprise snowstorm. Unwelcome, inconvenient and dangerous, especially for adults over 55. According to the CDC, between 70 to 85% of flu-related deaths and more than 50% of flu-related hospitalizations happen in people aged 65 and older. In other words, flu isn't just a seasonal nuisance. For older adults, it's serious business. But here's the good news. You can do something about it. In fact, there are many things, practical, proven, and even a few surprisingly simple habits that can help you stay safer this flu season. That's exactly what we're diving into today. In this in-depth guide from Senior Health, we'll walk you through everything you need to know, why the flu is more dangerous as we age. And no, it's not just because we're older. The top risk factors you might not realize are putting you in harm's way. 10 powerful ways to protect yourself, backed by science and sprinkled with common sense. How to tell the flu apart from a cold, because not every cough means calamity, and when to see a doctor before things take a turn. You'll also hear real stories from everyday folks like Harold, because sometimes learning from your neighbor's near miss is the best prevention. So pour yourself a warm cup of tea, grab your reading glasses and settle in. We're about to take on flu season together, with facts, with a plan, and yes, with just a little humor, because laughter is good medicine after all. If you find this helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Senior Health, where we make health simple, practical, and real for older adults in America. Leave a comment and share this with someone who needs a gentle reminder before flu season strikes. Let's start with something nobody likes to admit out loud. The body changes as we age, and we're not just talking about creaky knees or forgetting where we left the remote. It's usually in the fridge, by the way. Our immune system, the body's personal bodyguard, isn't quite as sharp at 65 as it was at 25. And that's the #1 reason flu season can turn from annoying to life-threatening for older adults. But why exactly is this the case? And what are the deeper reasons behind this vulnerability? Grab your comfy blanket, maybe a lemon ginger tea, and let's unpack it. Immunity isn't what it used to be, and that's okay, but let's be smart about it. As we get older, our immune system goes through a natural process called immunosenescence, a fancy term doctors use to describe how the immune response becomes slower and less efficient with age. That means your body doesn't recognize or fight off infections like it used to. Picture your immune system as a fire department. When you're younger, they get the call, jump on the truck, blast the sirens, and race over to put out the flames. As you age, they still get the call. But sometimes the truck takes a coffee break, the hose is leaky, and the fire's grown before they get there. This doesn't mean we're defenseless. It just means we need to think ahead, boost our defenses when we can, and avoid playing chicken with viruses that don't play fair. 2. The flu virus. itself is a master of disguise. You'd think after centuries of flu outbreaks we'd have this thing figured out, but influenza is slippery. It mutates constantly, changing just enough each season to make last year's immunity less effective. That's why the flu shot changes every year. Scientists all over the globe, including experts at the World Health Organization, WHO, and Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, track viral patterns like weather forecasters chasing a storm. They try to predict which strains are coming next so they can update the vaccine. Most years they get pretty close, but even with the vaccine, seniors still have a harder time mounting a full immune response. That's why high-dose flu vaccines were developed specifically for older adults. They contain a higher amount of antigen to help your body react more effectively. So yes, the virus is sneaky, but we've got smarter tools now, and we'll talk about those in part 3.3. Pre-existing conditions make things worse, and the flu loves to exploit that. Meet Gloria. She's 68, lives in Tucson, and has type 2 diabetes. She eats pretty well, except for her famous Christmas pecan pie, walks around the neighborhood with her church ladies, and takes her meds faithfully. Last winter, she caught the flu and ended up in the hospital with pneumonia. Why? Because the flu didn't come alone. It hitched a ride on her already stressed immune system. Chronic conditions like heart disease, lung issues like COPD, diabetes, kidney disease, and obesity all lower your body's ability to fight off infections. Not only do they weaken your immune response, but they also make complications from the flu more likely. Think pneumonia, bronchitis, sinus infections, and even heart attacks. In fact, a 2018 study published in the New England Journal of Medicine found that the risk of a heart attack is 6 times higher during the first week after a flu infection. That's not a typo. 6 times. The symptoms in seniors can be sneaky. Another thing that makes the flu dangerous in older adults. The symptoms don't always look the way you expect. When kids get the flu, they're burning up, sneezing all over the place, and curled up under the covers. With seniors, it might just look like fatigue, confusion, or not eating well. In fact, many older adults don't even develop a fever, which is often one of the key signs doctors use to detect flu, and sometimes the flu masquerades as a mild cold until it suddenly escalates. Harold, remember him from part 1, didn't even feel that sick the first day, just a little weak. But by day 3, he couldn't get out of bed. This delay in symptoms can make it harder to catch and treat early, which increases the risk of complications. This is one of the reasons doctors say, if in doubt, check it out. You're not being dramatic, you're being smart. Age itself is a risk factor, and that's not an insult. Let's get something straight. Aging is not a weakness. It's a badge of honor. But yes, being over 65 automatically increases your risk during flu season. And not because you're fragile, but because your body's systems have more mileage on them. The CDC reports that up to 85% of flu-related deaths happen in people 65 and older. Why? Because even if you're active, healthy, and walking 3 miles a day, go you, your internal systems still face natural age-related changes. Lungs may be less elastic. Heart rhythms may respond differently. Healing may be slower. You can still live vibrantly. Just add a little caution to your confidence. Vaccination gaps and myths in older adults, still a problem. Let's talk about the elephant in the waiting room. Not enough older adults get the flu vaccine, or they don't get the right kind. In the 2022-2023 flu season, only 70% of adults over 65 received a flu vaccine. That may sound decent, but it means nearly 1 in 3 skipped it. Why? Some say they never get sick. Others think the vaccine doesn't work, or that it gave them the flu once. It didn't. And a surprising number simply forget. Here's the truth, straight from Dr. William Schaffner, professor of preventive medicine at Vanderbilt University. The flu shot doesn't make you bulletproof, but it does reduce your risk of serious complications, hospitalizations, and death. It turns a potential wildfire into a manageable campfire, and that's exactly what we want. 7. Social exposure and grandparent factor, one of the sweetest parts of aging. Grandkids, one of the sneakiest risks of aging. Grandkids, they're cute, they're huggable, and they're germ factories. Children are one of the main vectors for flu viruses, especially school-aged kids. And when flu season hits schools, it spreads like wildfire. That means grandma and grandpa who pick up the kids, help with homework, or attend recitals are also catching exposure, often without realizing it. It's not just kids either. Holiday travel, crowded grocery stores, church gatherings all increase exposure. And unlike pre-retirement days where you could just call out sick and avoid people, many seniors are caregivers, volunteers, or just more socially active than ever. Shout out to bingo night. So yes, being social is good for the heart, but it's also a doorway for flu. That's why prevention isn't optional, it's essential. Hospitalizations have a heavier toll on older bodies. Ever notice how hard it is to bounce back after a cold or minor surgery as you get older? That recovery period can stretch from a few days to weeks. Now imagine a flu infection that lands you in the hospital with pneumonia, dehydration, or even sepsis. Hospitalization isn't just a stay, it's a strain. Older adults may experience muscle loss, mobility decline, and even cognitive confusion, like delirium, during prolonged hospital stays. A study in JAMA Internal Medicine found that 1/3 of adults over 70 hospitalized for acute illness lose some ability to do daily activities like walking, bathing, or dressing afterward. That's not fear-mongering. It's real data. The takeaway? It's not just about avoiding the flu. It's about avoiding the spiral that often follows it. The emotional and mental toll of being sick in older age. Nobody likes being sick. But for older adults, illness can trigger something more complex. Isolation, depression, and anxiety. If you live alone and catch the flu, you may skip meals, forget meds, or struggle to get to a doctor. You may feel like a burden asking for help, even though loved ones would gladly give it. Flu season often overlaps with the holidays, meaning one bad illness can cancel Thanksgiving plans, Christmas dinners, or family visits. And the emotional hit from missing those moments can last longer than the illness itself. That's why flu prevention isn't just about the body. It's about protecting your peace of mind, too. Let's be honest, nobody wants to think about the flu. But for seniors, it's one of those things that's worth facing head-on, because the risks are real and the solutions are within reach. You've made it through decades of tough winters, cold snaps, surprise illnesses, and maybe a teenager or two. You're strong, you're wise, but you're also human. And like Harold, Gloria, and so many others, you deserve the full story when it comes to your health. Specific actionable list. 7 keys to outsmart the flu. This season, get the right flu shot and do it early. In the small town of Cedar Rapids, Iowa, 72-year-old Frank Reynolds never misses his Tuesday poker night unless it's flu shot season. 1 jab a year saves me from weeks of misery, he tells his poker buddies. Frank's not alone in that thinking. According to the CDC, getting the flu vaccine can reduce the risk of flu illness by 40–60%, especially in seasons when the vaccine is well matched to the circulating strains. But here's the catch. Not all flu shots are created equal, especially for seniors. Adults over 65 should ask their doctor about the high-dose flu vaccine, Fluzone high dose, or the adjuvanted flu vaccine, Fluad. These are specifically designed to trigger a stronger immune response in older adults whose immune systems naturally become less responsive with age, a process called immunosenescence. Fancy word, we know. The flu vaccine won't give you the flu. Let's bust that myth right now. The most common side effect? a sore arm compared to fever, fatigue, and potential hospitalization. We'll take the sore arm, thank you very much. Pro tip: get the shot early in the season, ideally in September or October. It takes about 2 weeks for your body to build up immunity, and getting it too late means you might miss the train before it pulls out of the station. Wash your hands, like you mean it. Back in the 1960s, Alice Whitmore was a high school home economics teacher in rural Tennessee. She taught her students how to bake cornbread, hem trousers, and, most importantly, wash their hands. Warm water, soap, and 20 seconds. If you don't sing the happy birthday song twice, you're not doing it right, she'd remind them with a grin. Fast forward to today, and Alice, now 84, still swears by hand washing. Science backs her up. The flu virus can live on hard surfaces for up to 48 hours, and our hands are like Uber rides for germs. One casual rub of your nose or eye, and you've just invited the flu to your body's party. Effective hand washing means scrubbing all parts of your hands. Palms, backs, between fingers, and under the nails. No soap around? Use a hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol, but remember, it's not a substitute for good old soap and water when available. And if you needed more motivation? A study from the University of Michigan showed that regular hand washing cuts respiratory illness by 21% in adults. That's a lot fewer sick days and a lot more time enjoying life. Stay away from crowds, but not from people in. Early February, the senior center in Boca Raton was bustling with activity until flu season hit. After 3 members caught the virus, following a bingo night with 50 people in close quarters, activities coordinator Sheila had to pivot. We didn't want to shut things down. We just got smarter. So what did Sheila do? She staggered events to allow fewer attendees, introduced outdoor walks, and set up virtual game nights for those more at risk. The result? The flu didn't spread further, and the social life stayed alive. The flu virus spreads through respiratory droplets. The more crowded and enclosed the space, the higher the risk. But isolation has its dangers too: loneliness, depression, even physical decline. So how do we strike a balance? Prefer outdoor meetups when possible. Keep gatherings small and well-ventilated. Mask up in public spaces, especially indoors, and during peak season use technology to stay connected. Zoom, FaceTime, or even just a good old-fashioned phone call. Flu prevention doesn't mean becoming a hermit. It just means choosing your people and your places wisely. Boost your immune system the right way. Spoiler: it's not elderberry gummies alone. Carl Jenkins from Tempe, Arizona, swears by his morning ritual: a brisk walk around the block, a spinach smoothie, and yelling at squirrels who come too close to his tomatoes. Keeps my immune system alert, he chuckles. While we're not sure about the squirrels, Carl's on the right track. Here's what actually helps keep your immune system humming: balanced diet, rich in antioxidants, leafy greens, berries, citrus fruits, nuts, and fish. Adequate sleep. Aim for 7 to 9 hours, yes, even in retirement. Moderate exercise, brisk walking, light strength training or Tai Chi stress management, meditation, hobbies, laughter. Watch a rerun of I Love Lucy, it counts. Stay hydrated. Even mild dehydration can impair immune function. Be wary of miracle supplements. While vitamin D, vitamin C, and zinc have shown some promise in supporting immune response, loading up on megadoses won't make you invincible. As always, check with your doctor before adding anything new. Oh, and about those elderberry gummies? They're delicious, but not a substitute for flu shots or actual veggies. Think of them as dessert for your immune system, not the main course. Clean the house, especially the invisible stuff. Helen and Robert McCready, a retired couple from Springfield, Missouri, always did spring cleaning in March. But after Robert, Got the flu 3 winters in a row. Helen declared war on germs. We're not waiting for spring. The cleaning starts now. The flu virus loves smooth surfaces. Think doorknobs, light switches, TV remotes and phones. Wipe them down daily with disinfectant wipes or sprays that kill viruses. Look for labels that say, kills influenza AB. Even more crucial? Air quality. The drier your home air, the more likely flu droplets can hang in the air. Use a humidifier to keep humidity between 40–60%, which can reduce the virus's ability to survive and spread. And don't forget filters. Change HVAC filters regularly, especially if you have a forced air heating system. Some seniors even invest in HEPA air purifiers, which help reduce airborne particles, including viruses. In Helen's words, a clean home isn't just about tidy shelves, it's about healthy lungs. Know the symptoms, act fast. When 68-year-old Gloria from Brooklyn started feeling off, a bit achy, slightly feverish, she brushed it off as fatigue. 2 days later, she was hospitalized with pneumonia. If I'd just called the doctor earlier, it might have stayed a small thing, she admitted. Seniors can have atypical symptoms of the flu. Instead of a high fever, they might have chills, confusion, or a slight cough. By the time the full-blown symptoms hit, complications like pneumonia can already be setting in. Early treatment matters. Antiviral drugs like Tamiflu, oseltamivir, or Relenza, zanamivir, work best when started within 48 hours of symptoms. They can shorten the illness and prevent complications. So the takeaway: if you feel something's not right, call your doctor early. You know your body better than anyone. Keep a flu kit ready. Margaret Thompson, a 76-year-old retired librarian in Denver, doesn't go into flu season without her flu kit, neatly packed in a floral tote bag. It's my little emergency room in a bag, she laughs. Here's what's inside. Thermometer pulse oximeter measures oxygen saturation. Tissues, cough drops, and throat spray. Over-the-counter fever reducers like Tylenol, electrolyte drinks, or Howder's face masks for yourself or if someone in the house gets sick. A list of medications, allergies, and emergency contacts. Having supplies ready means less panic, fewer trips to the pharmacy when you're already feeling crummy, and better outcomes if things escalate. Plus, it's one more way to feel in control, something we could all use a little more of these days, just like Sunday morning routines, coffee, a little Sinatra, and the crossword puzzle. Flu prevention works best when it's consistent, easy to follow, and personalized to your life. Here's a practical, proven, and senior-friendly checklist that breaks it all down into simple, doable actions. 1. Flu shot. Schedule it, get the right one, mark it off. Call your doctor or local pharmacy and schedule your flu shot early, ideally September or October. As for the high-dose Fluzone HD or adjuvanted Fluad version, both are specially formulated for adults over 65. After your shot, write the vaccination date on your calendar or medication journal. If you live in a retirement community or assisted living, check if they offer on-site vaccination clinics. Encourage your spouse, kids, and caregivers to get vaccinated. 2. Flu prevention is a team sport. Bonus tip from Frank in Iowa. I make my flu shot day a treat. Shot at 10 a.m., pancakes by 10:30. It helps soften the blow. 2. Hand hygiene habits. Wash like a pro. Wash your hands before meals, after grocery runs, and after touching public surfaces, e.g. ATM, shopping cart, elevator buttons. Scrub with soap and warm water for 20 seconds. Sing happy birthday twice if you're unsure of the timing. Keep a travel-size hand sanitizer in your purse, car, or coat pocket, minimum 60% alcohol. Replace bar soaps with pump dispensers for less cross-contamination. Wipe down your glasses. Hearing aids and walking cane handles, they go places too. Note from Miss Alice in Tennessee, don't forget under your rings. Germs love hiding in jewelry crevices. 3. Smarter socializing. Stay connected, stay safe. Avoid large indoor gatherings during peak flu months, typically October to March. Choose small group activities, outdoor meetups, or spacious, well-ventilated areas for visits. Wear a mask in crowded indoor spaces. Think grocery stores, doctors' offices, senior centers. Set up video chats or phone calls with family and friends to stay emotionally connected. Keep a list of low-risk activities, board games on the porch, movie night with 2-3 friends, or senior yoga in the park. Advice from Sheila in Boca Raton: if you can play bingo on Zoom with snacks and good lighting, why not? 4. Immune support. Build your body's defenses. Eat at least 1 serving of fruits and veggies with every meal, especially dark leafy greens and citrus fruits. Drink 6 to 8 glasses of water a day. Add lemon or cucumber if plain water. Bores you. Sleep 7 to 9 hours nightly. Use blackout curtains, soft music, or lavender spray if needed. Move daily. Walk your dog, dance to music, or try chair yoga. Aim for at least 30 minutes of gentle movement a day. Take your medications as prescribed, especially if you have diabetes, asthma, or heart conditions, which raise flu complications. Consider a vitamin D supplement during winter months, with doctor's guidance. Carl from Arizona says, "My spinach smoothie may not taste like chocolate cake, but it keeps me from turning into a flu statistic." 5. Germ control at home. Clean what you can't see. Disinfect high-touch surfaces daily: light switches, doorknobs, remote controls, phones, keys. Keep disinfectant wipes or sprays in the kitchen, bathroom, and living room for easy access. Use a humidifier to keep air moisture between 40–60%. Dry air lets viruses linger longer. Replace furnace and HVAC filters regularly, every 3 months, or as recommended. Open windows for fresh air exchange when weather allows. Helen from Missouri reminds us, the bathroom counter may sparkle, but if the TV remote's covered in cough germs, what's the point? 6. Flu symptom awareness. Act fast, don't second guess. Know the early signs: chills, body aches, fatigue, cough, sore throat. Even subtle signs like confusion or dizziness in seniors. If you feel off, call your doctor within 24–48 hours. Ask about starting antivirals like Tamiflu. Keep a thermometer and pulse oximeter on hand to track your fever and oxygen levels. Avoid toughing it out. Seniors are more prone to flu complications like pneumonia. If a caregiver or visitor seems ill, reschedule. Flu doesn't come with a polite warning. Gloria in Brooklyn's rule: if you're coughing, I love you from 6 feet away. That's real affection. 7. Build your flu safety kit. Be ready before you need it. Pack a small tote or box with digital thermometer, pulse oximeter, acetaminophen or ibuprofen electrolyte drink packs, hand sanitizer and tissues, face masks, N95, or surgical cough drops and throat spray. Doctor's contact info and medication list. Store it somewhere easy to reach. And make sure a spouse or caregiver knows where it is. Check expiration dates every season. Replace what's outdated. Margaret's advice from Denver: don't wait until you're sick to prepare. I keep my flu kit next to my TV remote. Now. That's smart planning. Bonus, quick daily flu safety habits. Morning, check how you feel. Drink water, eat a healthy breakfast and move a little. Midday, wash hands before lunch, wipe down surfaces, open windows if weather allows. Evening, check in with loved ones, wind down electronics, prioritize restful sleep. A healthy routine helps your body stay ready, like oiling a classic car before a road trip. Final reminder: this checklist isn't about fear, it's about freedom. Freedom to keep playing bridge, walking your dog, attending church, and hugging your grandkids. A little preparation goes a long way toward protecting your health, your time, and your joy. The flu season may be back, but so are you. Stronger, smarter, and ready. If you've read this far, take a second to pat yourself on the back because you've just done something that a lot of people never take the time to do. You've taken control of your health, and that, dear friend, is no small thing. We live in a world where everything moves fast. Headlines scream panic, commercials sell miracle pills. But here you are, calmly and wisely, taking real science-based steps to protect yourself, not just from the flu, but from fear. That's the kind of quiet courage that doesn't make the evening news. But it should. You've faced bigger things than the flu. The truth is, this isn't your first season of challenges. You've seen decades come and go. Wars and peace, black and white, TVs to smartphones. You've survived recessions, raised children, lost loved ones, started again. Compared to all that, a virus with a name like H1N1 seems like just another thing to take care of, and you are taking care of it by showing up for yourself, by staying informed, by choosing habits that protect your energy and extend your years. That's not just healthcare, that's self-respect. As our friend Carl from Arizona said earlier, my spinach smoothie may not taste like chocolate cake, but it keeps me from turning into a flu statistic. That's wisdom wrapped in humor. That's the senior health spirit. Why this flu season feels different, and what to do about it. Yes, this flu season may be more intense. Experts are warning about higher transmission. Hospitals are busier, and after years of pandemic fatigue, people are letting their guard down. But you are not people. You are prepared. You've got your shot lined up. You've got your hands clean, your flu kit ready, your favorite herbal tea stocked up. You know the early signs, and you're not afraid to call your doctor if things feel off. Most importantly, you've chosen to keep living fully without letting fear write your story. Remember, prevention is not about hiding. It's about choosing freedom. Freedom to keep going to choir rehearsal. Freedom to babysit your grandkids. Freedom to laugh at reruns of The Golden Girls and cry during Hallmark movies without worrying about catching something from the tissue box. You don't need to bubble wrap your life. You just need to be smart, and you are. The legacy of strength, one of the greatest gifts seniors give the world, is perspective. When young people see you wearing your mask at the grocery store, staying active, and getting your flu shot, not out of fear, but out of wisdom, you're teaching without speaking. You're showing your family that strength is not just about muscle. It's about making smart choices, about love, about legacy. And that kind of strength is contagious in the best possible way. A final word from one seasoned soul to another. Let's be honest. No checklist, no vaccine, no vitamin D supplement can guarantee you'll never get the flu. Life doesn't work that way. But what we can do, what you are doing, is stacking the odds in your favor, giving your body every chance to fight well, giving your mind every reason to feel calm, and giving your spirit the space to enjoy the life you've built without worry stealing the joy. So let's raise a cup of hot tea to a flu season that's less about sickness and more about savoring. Savoring the cool air, savoring stories around the dinner table, savoring every breath, every laugh, every quiet morning with the paper and a cat on your lap. Because in the end, health isn't just about what you avoid. It's about what you're still here to experience. And friend, there's still so much to experience. If you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Senior Health, where we make health simple, practical, and real for older adults in America. From vaccines to vitamins, sleep to strength, we've got your back every season of the year.